L-Man, Young's Teflon when he was YO. Then you got Roadside G's with R.A., Dan Diggers, DEN. You got different.
That's listing off
You
real
got
names.
different.
That.
Then you've even got like an NE. So there was points when we had and Big Rem. You got points with Fate and Assassins, OG's early stuff, where grime, but it's always very gangster. So the road rap element was within it. So the reason why I don't look at Stormzy like a grime is because
He's not grime though.
Stormzy would have been listening to a Gigs, EVS, PDC, a Shaq Corleone, those types of artists before. Yes, he probably did like grime, but he was Real Talk DVD, Sticky Business, all the road DVDs. Those are the stuff that I personally feel like most guys from South. Yes, we love grime, but on top of that, it was just so gangster that it leaned over to road rap. That's why, like, and then after that is we then start loving a Gigs.
All right, just to thing with the whole Gigs thing. There was an interview with Hypo from Mashtown.
Big hypes.
From the east side. He, like, for me...
Was it his NFTR?
The NFTR,
Cool.
where he kind of alluded to the fact that grime is for idiot. Can't remember the
I know
exact
exactly,
quote.
it was an idiot thing, because what it was, their man was really bad boys. What it was the clashing thing, and all that energy.
Yeah, like, obviously, being from East London, there was two sides. So you had the grime acts.
And the guys behind the grime
And
guys.
then you had the guys behind the grime guys, but then you also, like, obviously, you're from ends, so you know...
Shakira's from the hood.
She's from the hood,
Put it
so
out
she
there.
would know...
Guys!
Like, you had Mashtown, you had LORD,
Yeah.
you had... who else was popping at the time?
I remember Mashtown was beefing North Star.
Mashtown really
I know
There was like, you would go to different parts of, like, the ends. I'm not gonna say specific
Let's
blocks or
not do
nothing.
that.
Yeah, let's definitely not do that. And every, like, we had rap. So me being, I look at it as the demographic of, like, where I'm from, and then the rap, like, it's two completely different worlds. So you have East London, and then you have Hackney specifically.
Yeah, Hackney's his own
It's his
entity.
own entity.
That's
So
true.
it might seem from the outsiders, like an outsider's perspective, that the comment is ignorant. But I can fully relate
because
to
if you know, like, if you remember
Grime
PDC,
came from more. Grime
Go on.
was more animated than the hood rap sort of thing. So it was like you had the more animated characters doing grime, which gave it the quirky.
if you've got someone like, you don't have a Flirta D in road rap, that would never ever work. It could never happen. So I understand why they're like, it's an idiot thing, and like, man will be clashing, disrespect each other face to face. The idea, imagine me and you standing each other face to face, saying you're gonna slap me.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm not saying nothing
Certain
disrespectful in your
characters
face.
within
Being able to
that
spit in your
scene,
face, that can't happen.
It's definitely like,
That's why we couldn't understand that.
Like, in terms of, we would have like grime MCs appearances, like you'd have like someone's birthday party, because everyone's local.
Yeah.
You would get your favourite spitter to come MC at your party. But then what would happen was,
A lot of man would get
come and-
slapped as well.
Man would come and shut down your rave as
Yeah.
a result of you bringing. Why are you bringing this dickhead to the hood? So it's like, not in a weird way. It's kind of like, obviously, I'm more, because I've never really been like invested in grime. I fully understand his point of view, but at the same time, it's a bigger conversation, because you look at Mashtown as an entity and stuff. They've been around for years, like, and have been one of the first road rap. Like, they're in the pocket with PDC and obviously
They were early.
North Star. They were very early.
I remember, like, for me, I wouldn't say busting, but like, when it started getting really exposed was when Marks really started becoming like, Marks was going to be their gigs.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but like, because I remember the first video.
I'm glad he said this, because there's something else I want to go
Yeah,
into
because
after.
you remember the video? The co-sign at the time was like, Femfel was in the video,
Femfel,
and they got the Phantom
Stand
out,
Up.
Stand Up, and they got the youngers at the top of the block.
Yeah, I remember.
So,
Them feels lovely.
the reason,
Them feels
see the whole thing with grime, yeah, and like, it's like, I look at it as like, you know, when someone, they want to rate you and you're successful, but they don't know how to. So that's where the uncomfortability comes from. So Jace, Jazz Songs had the same thing, like the grime guys are idiots, but fast 4 years later,
You got to make friends with these people.
Hypo and that, they don't do songs with Wiley.
with
And then the grime guys, when you're the real popping guy and you're out here with a pop axe, yeah, there's sometimes a bit of uncomfortability.
Yeah.
Because
And
they
you
don't
are looked
remind
at as
you.
a chief.
They don't want to. They don't remind you where you're from. They don't move how your friends move. So you sometimes regress and go back to the hood a bit more. So Wiley would go and, even though it seems obscure, go and do a song with Mashtown. That doesn't benefit Wiley in any way, other than maybe a little bit of street cred. but it does
I
more
remember when
for
he did that. It
a
didn't
mash
really
town.
make. It
It
didn't
wasn't,
make any
it wasn't
waves.
that big a song.
Yeah, it didn't
The
make
biggest songs
any
I like
waves.
from Monk are the stuff that were on like UK Overstood, Streets Incarcerated.
Wow.
When Big Hypes is at the back saying, "I'm gas like the few." Those are
That
the points
video was
that.
actually kind of funny.
And
That's like old
Asco's
Nine
fucking
Times.
drunk.
That really hustle video.
Yeah.
shoot, yeah.
But each song had its own sound, bruv. Like you look at like a Jay Spades, most iconic line in rap ever. All my dogs tell me yes, like Churchill. I remember
Do
the
you know what
Churchill
it is?
advert with
The
the nodding
Churchill with
dog.
the nodding dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even within that, yeah, like you have road rap and then you have grime, and obviously, like I said, grime is probably emerging as the more prominent sound.
It's
now.
definitely been it's been the most successful. I'd say I wouldn't say it's the
But
most
we look at
prominent.
someone as like. There's so many things that I want to touch
So
on.
let's talk. Let's talk. Man.
So we've kind of covered the whole diversity within grime, and obviously people just leaning on grime as, because again,
It's not our fault. What it is I look at it as like mainstream news outlets. Like you need to label something to be able to sell it.
To sell it.
So I saw Rashid from Link Up TV the other day wearing a T-shirt that says everything that is urban isn't grime. So I tweet that out as well. So at the moment, grime's just the sound.
it's a reference.
Or the
But
reference.
then
I think Jay Hustle on the front like a mixed mag or some magazine and like as the grime pick or something. But his sound is not grime
But
whatsoever.
before they were able to label things grime, all they did is label it urban, and it was like, what is urban? So then
But we
grime came
revolted
up, and
against
now-
that.
That's too broad
We did,
of
but
a-
then what happened then is now they don't actually know what grime is. So grime is emerging, yes, as a more dominant genre, but they don't know what classifies as grime. So they're just labeling any urban
Yeah.
Do you know
act as grime, and it's not. It's a different sound entirely.
how can I put it in terms of, for me, the reason why I never kind of latched onto grime in the first place is more because I saw it as the like I said to you like on a previous episode, I'm someone that music for me is like pretty much my life in terms of it can reflect my moods, it can change my mood, like it plays such an important part to me, like in my everyday life. It's like I need the content to be of a certain level of, not intelligence, because anyone putting rhymes on a piece of paper, it requires a certain, well, I won't say a certain level, a very high level of intellect. However, I'm about stories and relating to stories, whereas grime didn't really give me that. I didn't really get that from grime. Obviously, the clashing element, it's entertaining nonetheless, however, I didn't really relate to grime as much as
I always
I
remember
did.
that grime is extremely young. Grime is your lifetime. That's why it's probably a bit more difficult.
So again, I always lean towards the more road rap, and obviously gigs for me is a very like probably I was listening to Tricky's mixtape yesterday, and he held up gigs.
Gigs
as the
is
king
the
of-
most important part of. I don't like the term, but we've given it road rap.
Yeah.
Most successful, biggest artist, and he's the most
It
important.
took him so long, but
To
I'm
get
proper
there.
happy.
But hearing someone
happy
like
that
Tricky
he's
say
there.
that for me is like wow, because Tricky has been. I was listening to Tricky in 2002, and I didn't know who Giggs was in 2002. If you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
for him to obviously give him that title in terms of the king of this whole everything, it's like it's weird because obviously now seeing Giggs in 2017, and I'm gonna be honest, like I'm not sure about your feelings or your feelings. I personally can't fuck with the new Giggs.
I know what you're referring to. I know why you say that because it feels so far removed from the early gigs. We have to understand some things with. We need someone to go over there and do that. Like I think he's gonna remind you when the mixtape comes out. Like there's the
It's
verse on
conflicting for me.
the verse on the song with Drake, yeah. Even though he spins Drake, it's actually quite a subpar verse.
It's very subpar.
It's a very
The
subpar
thing
verse.
is that
But the most commercial stuff with gigs, I had to dumb it down so you could keep up. That's how I feel sometimes. And when he spins back and does, because you do with gigs, if you feel like you don't like new gigs, just go and listen to Who Said That.
But I
those
feel
mixtapes.
sometimes-
My
Go
thing
and
is
listen to
that
Basic Gigs
I
Free.
don't listen to anything other than Who Said That. Who Said That?
Basic Gigs 1, 2 and 3.
Best of Gigs Part 2, Hollow versus Blade. Was it Hollow?
Yeah, Hollow vs. Blade.
Yeah.
The SM1 mixtape. Anything from 07
Anything
to
him and
010.
Dubs.
anything in that period for me, Giggs was like way levels above anyone else doing that at the time. My issue with Giggs now isn't necessarily the fact that he's trying to cross over, and I have the problem with a lot of other rappers that kind of, I'm all about creativity and trying new ways of making music. However, it sounds like he doesn't. Like, there's an art to like Jay-Z claims he's never written.
Yeah.
He would have had to have wrote at some point, but he claims that he's never written. And cool. Listening to Jay-Z, you would never say that he doesn't write. If you didn't know, you wouldn't say this is someone that raps in their head. Whereas with Giggs, like, it sounds like he doesn't rap. And it's reflective because I have that comparative to his earlier stuff and how well he was able to tell his story. And obviously his story's told. I have no qualms with that. However, I just feel, like you said, he's dumbed his.
I think the biggest songs. I think sometimes you get overshadowed with the song with Drake. So he had some really big features. So I like him with 6-7. I like him with the with JME.
It was witty. Do you
know when you see Giggs come out in show? When he has to rap with Tricky, when he has to rap with Dubs, and when he has to rap with Kano.
You're leaving a big name off that, but yeah.
Who else? Who else I'm missing?
Tiny Boost.
Bruce brings something else out of him as well. But I think when he has, because Dubs is Giggs' favourite rapper. And the only person I think that's missing that maybe might keep Giggs inspired is Fix Dottom. That's another person. But then, I don't know.
It's an interesting conversation because to me, you look at all the people that he's worked with over the years. So very early on, you had Femme Felon, you had Blade.
Kai's a major important factor.
Anyone from that era of Giggs, I think it was definitely...
There was competition. I can imagine Unit 10 at the time was like, man don't want to get spun on no records.
No records. So you had that element and it was like, it excelled all of them to a level that I don't think they knew they was capable of at the time. So they all elevated as a result of that level of competition. Whereas I look at Giggs now, he's having fun. I have no
That's what it is. You got to say, I think he's having fun and he's in a comfortable space. But I think when it's now to remember, he is in the middle of album cycle. So I don't know if you noticed with everyone, when Giggs was in the middle and before the big tour, he obviously did lots of features. Gets is not too far off doing a project soon, and he's bodied all of his features. So I think everyone is in that space. I just think the biggest songs, they just need to be, sometimes it's just easy listening. I think all our artists go through it. The only person I could probably say who's never really like tried to have a soft verse yet is Styles. Styles will be on the biggest song and it's still the hardest. I'm gonna break your nose, break your face. It's still gonna be something crazy like that. So, but I think within the space here, festival music, like.
Do you know what it is though? I think I don't have an issue with artists having to do that. I get it.
And he might argue that he's not dumbing down. He might still think it's a hard verse.
I see why they do it. But
Reese doesn't think so. Reese thinks the verse are a bit soft.
It causes a disconnect with your core fan base. It does. It causes a disconnect because they then start to feel like I can't relate to this stuff that you're putting out. Yeah. And it's great that you'll come back and you'll spin some verses for us, but then it's just like that stuff that you're doing in between. It's not for your core fan base then. Like,
I think it is though. When I look at Instagram and I see Giggs at Leeds Festival with all his family. His kids.
On that
he's got his fucking, nice to see. He got his fucking dog. He's got his dog with him at the festival. That shit makes me happy because I remember them being out there, yeah, handing out CDs, giving it to girls because they know the girls are just giving away music. Like I remember when we first saw Up in the Shubs on TV, and that was a big moment. I remember the first time Giggs collaborated with Young Spray, and they were talking about certain stories. I don't want to get too much, like real life stories where man could have got nicked. Certain things which are crazy. Like real things. I remember Welcome to Boomsville. You know, when the time when Jay Flows was the biggest producer in South London. I don't know where the hell that guy is now.
I haven't heard of any. You know, Jay Flows.
So that is, I always thought that conversation about early UK road. I'm talking like Media Massacre, Barkey. I'm talking about Street Selected, Toxic TV, Rap City. There's loads of gems there. People get like 100,000 views, like crazy. That's some people on the come up. But I understand what you're saying, Shakira, in regards to. It can like leave a sour taste in the mouth for your core audience, but I think as long as the core is still catered to when it's like big album time, you'll be fine. But if you don't want to, as you're reaching for the sun there,
you don't want to forget.
You don't want to forget the guys down there.
Don't leave the don't desert the people that helped you get to where.
But I think we should also grow as well, though. I think
we should grow, and I get it.
Go to the festival, Shakira, innit? Go and mosh with the white people.
I hate festivals.
Go, man, drink a little beer, man. Go on and enjoy yourself, man.
You know that is not my lifestyle. You know it's not my lifestyle, but I respect it, and do you know what it is? It's like, as a fan, you have to then separate the fact that you want this person to win.
Yeah.
I want Giggs to win.
With the fact that I actually want content that
reflects winning.
Yeah, I want
also,
content.
I want to respect Giggs for saying that I was outside Frontline, or outside Crackerjack with a burner on me still. Like, I'll be like, you're chatting shit because you're not.
You're not, yeah.
So like, we wanted to relate to real life.
But then you don't have to do completely hood. Do you get what I mean? You can do I've matured without dumbing the content down. But it doesn't appeal to the wider audience then. So it's like you have to...
Do you know who I think's got the right balance of that in terms of he is what he is, he's going to release what he's going to release. However, he doesn't spread himself as thin, Blade. In terms of when Blade isn't putting music out for a particular project, you don't really hear from him. He doesn't really do as much feature verses.
And then whenever he puts some stuff out,
it is
it's
what
quality.
you expect.
I do respect and appreciate that.
But then he hasn't elevated.
He hasn't even got anywhere close.
He hasn't.
Blade's biggest music moment is going on tour with Giggs. That's not disrespect.
I don't feel like you should have said that.
He said it himself. Like, he's not done like even to put on his own tour was a struggle.
I was still waiting for that tour.
Like the own like proper bags and boxes, because like you have to understand sometimes as well. Yeah, I think it's.
But then he stayed road.
Not even that. It's like success and having money. Yeah,
it's too that for him.
Like, how can I leave? I've got all the stuff these rappers rap about already before the success. To then go and take the risk and take smaller change and smaller money for something that's not necessarily guaranteed, and I'm already successful somewhere else, it can make a bit desensitized, and also it allows him just to put a project out once every year, every 2 years. In the climate we're in right now,
if you want to stay relevant,
Blade should do a lot more work.
Yeah.
Now, the last project,
but then I feel
with
like
Drug Dealer, Songs to Teach the Author, those he has bangers in it, and like the first Bags and Boxes, classic, innit?
Well, I think all three of them are classic mixtapes. They all.
Where'd you rank them?
I think that he does quality.
I rank one, the last one, and then
I think
number
Financial Times is probably a better mixtape than 2.
Financial Times is Blade tapping more into his intellect when I look at Financial Times. I like Financial Times more from a...
I like Financial Times because
point
it's more of a musical journey from beginning to end in terms of he goes
You can
up.
see his growth in that.
In terms of he takes you on a journey on Financial Times. But if you're talking about Bags and Boxes 3, I will find it really difficult. Because nostalgia automatically means I remember where I was
when you
in
listened to
2010 when I was listening to the first one.
I think sometimes like it clouds us because we start thinking about the time.
But
you have to always remember, a lot of people put out really good content now as well.
The levels
with
are
sick visuals.
Up. That helps as well.
Like he's got a sick video and he's got like
Mayweather
fucking Floyd in the background. Just so those things makes it seem a lot bigger than it is as well. And it makes the fan even more excited. I love to see Blade. I want to see Fix Dotton and Dubs come back full. I think Dubs, I see some snippets on Instagram of him rapping again. He's never stopped
rapping, like in terms of he hasn't put his own project out, but he, behind the scenes, I think he's someone that has never really shied away from rapping. So I think he could come out, but I don't know about Fix, man. I think Fix is...
You think it's done?
I think it's done for Fix, man.
I love my Willie Road guys.
No, Fix was hard. Fix was definitely hard, but I don't know where the space fits.
Go listen to Test Out the 9 remix of Fix
he had a... When he came out of jail, he released a song and he had a video. And I liked the song, but it just didn't really get...
You might have to shake up some of that jail. Some people, it's like...
Yeah,
they're away from social media. They don't know what's cool. They're not dressed the same. It's not the same.
Yeah, it's mad because you look at 2010, boot cuts was still accepted. Boot cuts was still in 2010. Boot cuts with your Air Forces were kind of semi cool. You was alright with a True Religion, Ricky T.
And a little Ed Hardy
in some ways, we thank God for growth.
But I like that whole conversation about UK music because a lot of the time we look at US and stuff, and I think we're really popping over here. I look at the look like me and Riz. I reckon me and we sat there for another hour talking about the history of road rap. There's so much stuff out there, like unearthed gems. I want to see Boost come out and do amazing stuff. There's a kid from Peckham called CS. He's a massive troublemaker.
He for me.
But he could be the next one.
He could be like I like what he's done in the short space of time that he has kind of come out of his show a bit. Like I think I'm watching him very carefully still.
Yeah, watch out for that kid CS because he could do stuff. There was a guy when we was younger that was part of the PYG clique called Shocks, one of the best rappers in that clique. Like,
wow.
those are the. I remember when that gang first started, innit?
Yeah.
When that music group first started, innit? So, there's loads of stuff like Young Stefan's been around for years. I'm waiting for that one song to push him over the edge, innit?
Again, another very talented guy, but I think again, I don't like
core. You got to understand, some people it's core. So he could probably put out a project now. It's gonna go and say I've got a small show, venue maybe like a couple hundred people, and it'll come out. You know, not everyone's gonna sell out fucking Hammersmith Apollo. Now, do I want that from my artists? Of course, I want it to be as big as they can be. But if you're independent and you can get 200 people to come out, spend 10, 20, 30 pound, and it's all into your pocket and reinvest, there's something for you to grow with in terms of a base there.
I think there was a point where he was next to go, but I don't know what happened. In terms of, was it Jungle Book?
There was Jungle Book.
Just before that, I thought, yeah,
and he had a project where he's like his, I can't remember, he's like his bust was in the you know when they like a carving.
Renaissance,
yeah.
I thought there was a period where I thought someone was actually gonna press the button of Tef, but I don't know what's happened there. We're waiting on a call from Ash, who wanted to call in and share some sentiments in regards to today's episode, all the way from Croatia. But
in Croatia?
Yeah, man, he's out there living life.
Doing bits over there.
Huh? While we're waiting for Ash, I want to know your thoughts on this whole Terrell Lewis.
We covered it in our last episode called Do It For The Gram. It's a sad situation. It's funny as well though, because I need some cheap laughs. But
I'm just mad that he ate the same small rice for 15 minutes.
That's
was it rice?
It was Chinese. Man's a bodybuilder that is eating small.
It was so
Small in 2
tiny.
years.
I'm sorry, you can't trust any man that can sit there with a small portion of Chinese and not finish
I was
it in
struggling. I
15
thought it was
minutes.
like a dessert.
Why
or something.
wasn't he finished?
Because it was
Literally, I was like, I thought it was like a crumble or something.
For me, why are you chewing rice that aggressive?
I didn't understand. I just want to know, where did he
It looked like
get
he was
it
chewing
from?
bricks.
He was chewing bare hard. I was like, bro, like,
I
do
too
you mind?
want to be able to eat for 15 minutes and my food not be done. That sounds like heaven to me.
Yeah,
That's like baby stuff. Like, you're supposed to finish your meal. in
Yeah, the
time.
talking point of the video is man drank one water, didn't finish it, drew for a second water. I was like, this is all for cinematic effect.
It's like, yeah, film me the other one, film me the other one. Fam, the Chinese is still there. Like,
Yeah.
that food is cold. 15 minutes,
Cold
that food
as
is
fuck.
cold. That food is
You
cold.
see with that whole situation, yeah, I just think the videos make it funny. She definitely had a better video out of the two of them.
Yeah.
Hers was way more produced. She had the tears.
They're both
she had the makeup
actors,
on.
yeah.
I think she's more of an actor than I think the
But
reason
I
why he's
like-
come across shit is because he was being a lot more real. Whether his reel is good, he's been a lot more real in his video. I didn't like the fact that she put the Adam's has a voice note.
I can't really say that he was being real just because I feel like he didn't say anything. So I can't say you've been real.
No. My resolution was that he's been real to himself in terms of he's still being a bit ignorant and being a bit egotistical. That's his real character in that moment. Man said, "I'm from the road. I gave you my life."
He said that he came from wire and concrete.
Do you know what it is, yeah?
I came from the concrete.
But do you know what it is though, Riz?
I know where they're coming from.
I know where they're coming from, innit? Like,
I'm trying to imagine listening to my son on a talking about I came from the fuck you came from
my
Park Road.
house. I'll pay council tax.
I would be so vexed, bro.
you are crazy.
I would be so
Do you know what
vexed.
it is, yeah?
You think I work all these hours for you to tell people you're from the concrete? You better tell them. You better tell them.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know who these people were a week ago. So for me, it's just funny seeing like,
The whole thing was, I had never ever watched
like
a
my
single
cousin
thing
has
that
said
they've
to me, yeah, you know them, they're on the timeline. I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really.
You could miss them. You would
On
miss.
Insta, I don't follow anyone that I don't know personally.
That's
so
very
it's like,
healthy. Keep it that way. Trust me.
It's trust me, it's
Me
the
neither,
best way. But yeah, so the explore page, I'm not gonna lie, I look for like for me,
strippers from New York.
Do you know what? Yeah, I
just throw me right under the bus. I'm not gonna lie. I try and keep it.
He looks for bad bitches.
No, I do not. I'm not gonna lie. You can go through my likes. There is a few like if I see something that
stands
my
out.
liking, I'll like the picture.
Actually structured and
However,
standing strong.
I look for entertain. Like you see, like Rob edits. those types of like.
And it is the comedians. That kind of thing. Okay,
I'm
I
more
feel
on
you.
there for that. I
Yeah.
don't really want to like be out here double tapping hella booties
I've,
on the gram.